I'm really excited about today's video because it's finally a sketchbook tour. If you've watched some of my previous video, you might have seen this sketchbook right here. It's basically a sketchbook in which I only drew people, and I finally finished it this past month, so now I can finally show it to you. So let's start with the first page. So the goal of this sketchbook was for me to practice drawing people, and in order to do that, I decided to only use non-erasable tools. As you can see, I drew with pen here, and the goal really wasn't to have good-looking drawings, but just really to practice. Which is why here you can see that this eye doesn't look nice. I got the proportion wrong, but I decided not to erase anything, just so it will remind me every time I open this sketchbook that the goal isn't for my drawing to be perfect, but just for me to practice. I can show you the pens that I used. I used this pen, which is now empty, but I remember when I got the sketchbook, I also got a set of these pens. Really, I find them really fancy. It's just ink inside. I got them in 3 different colors to motivate myself to draw inside this sketchbook only with pen. Now the following page, well, I don't have much to say about it. Overall, I like it a lot. Well, I tried to draw different people, and here you can see that I was still trying to figure out how to get a nice layout, because, well, here I only drew 2 people on one page, and here I tried to draw more people, but it was my first time actually drawing that many people in a sketchbook. I'm not really used to it, or at the time I wasn't really used to it, but I love how this looks. What did I use? Well, as before, I used this pen for the base drawing, and then I think this is highlighter. I actually used a green highlighter and a pink one too on both of these drawings, and then I must have used colored pencil for the blue and Posca for the pink here. So these are acrylic pens. Yeah, it was really fun. I love how this face looks. Okay, next. Oh, I wrote down the date. So this was on the 3rd of June 2024 that I drew this. But I'm pretty sure I drew these 2 on the same day. So here, starting from this one. Oh, I actually wanted to try an experiment with water. So once again, I use this pen, this pink one, and I really like how it looks here. You can see you can see the mark from the pens, and here there's this effect because of the water. I really like it here too. I thought it looked really cool, and I wanted to experiment a bit with it. And since I did that, I also tried using some watercolor in the back. I'm not actually sure if this is watercolor or black ink, but it must be watercolor. I think here I didn't use any watercolor. It's just the water that got mixed with the ink that gave this color that I think is really cool. It was really fun experimenting with the blade of the ink. And I have to say, I'm pretty surprised because I don't know if you can see, but the pages are really thin. The sheets are only 90 grams, but it's actually withstanding water pretty well. As you can see, you can't even see the water on the other page. So this one was really fun to work on. And then this one, I used colored pencils. And although I do like the way it looks, I realized that when I drew this, I was actually trying to not think about the lines too much, which is not good. Because basically the whole reason why I started Sketchbook is because I wanted to get better at drawing people with lines. Like you can see here. Even though I later went back with colored pencils. The lines are pretty detailed. Here there's almost no lines, and rather I went back with colored pencils to work on the shape. And although the result looks good, that's not really what I was looking for the sketchbook. So after drawing this, I realized that I was actually going back into my comfort zone, which is not something that I wanted, because I'm used to drawing with colored pencils and then painting with watercolor. And when I'm using these mediums, usually as I did here, I'm rather working with shape first, and the lines are just a continuation of the shapes. For this specific sketchbook, I really wanted to put an emphasis on the line first and then add colors, but just because it's fun. But for this drawing, I went back to my old way, so although it looks good, I try not to do that anymore. And I'm glad I realized it early on, because I could have kept on doing this for a pretty long time, honestly. Okay, so now I actually really like this drawing. I don't know if you know her. I haven't watched the movie, but I think her name is Matilda from the movie Léon, which I haven't watched. Oh yeah, Léon the Professional. That's the name. It's from 1994. By the way, I haven't mentioned it, but all of my reference pictures are coming from Pinterest, so you might have seen them before. So here, I really like this one actually. I only went with 2 colors, blue and gold. So once again, I added watercolor and then a bit of colored pencils. And I really like how it glows. You can really see it here. The hair are glowing. Looks nice. And then here it's Matilda. For the coloring, I used brushes like this. Since I saw before that it could withstand water pretty well, I tried to experiment a bit more with it. I actually got these 2 brushes in an art store. These are from Sennelier. These are ink brushes. So it's filled with ink, and you basically can color with it. I really like how this looks. I had a lot of fun writing down text here. And overall, at this point, I think I was trying to find a way to put the drawings together on a page so that the layout would be interesting. But yeah, this one is definitely one of my favorite drawings from this whole sketchbook. Okay, now this is just small sketches. I really like this one. And here, the same. I was just trying to experiment a bit more with the colors I was using, and as you can see here, I first started drawing something different that I didn't like and that I stopped doing. But since, once again, the goal of this sketchbook was not to have perfectly drawn people, but just try and experiment, I purposefully left it here, even though, well, I don't really like how it looks, but it's fine. Then these are more colorful. Yeah, a bunch of experiments from pictures that I saw on Pinterest. So at this point, I think I was trying to represent people in a context and see if I could simplify it, and if the picture would still be recognizable or at least make sense, even when it's simplified, because up until this point I was mostly just drawing people individually, and starting from here I just wanted to experiment a bit. So this one looks nice. I really like how the faces look, and just overall the body, I think it looks pretty good. And here, I think the person looks great. I'm not really sure about the environment though. But well, it's not the main focus of the sketchbook. I had fun doing this. Now, this is a really good looking picture that I found on Pinterest. And here again, I try to play with the bleeding of the ink, and I added watercolor for the background. And here, this is a small figure drawing session that I did. It's, I'm not sure why I found the picture though. I like how it looks. And this one is another picture from Pinterest. These are more figure drawing. And this one, I actually really like this page. This is another figure drawing session that I did based on a YouTube video. This is from the YouTube channel named Just Draw Party. So they have really cool video where people are posing, and it's really nice if you wanna try and draw people in outfits, because they're wearing a bunch of different costumes. So this one is the 172nd video, and yeah, all of these were 2 minutes long. This pose is my favorite, I think. And then these three were 2 minutes too, or maybe 3, I'm not sure, I don't remember. And the last pose was 5 minutes. Then these are other smaller drawings. I think this picture is pretty well known because I've seen it a lot on Pinterest. Well, here I think I used alcohol-based marker, and once again the quality is really good. Like the quality of the paper, it did bleed a bit, but not that much. This one is my favorite, I think. I tried using just one main color for each person, and I think it looks great. Then this page, well, okay, first of all, this one, I don't really like how it turned out. Yeah, I don't have much more to say. The colors here are a bit weird. As for this one, I actually really liked it. I wasn't planning on coloring it first, but then I thought, why not? I tried to think of it as a full illustration, so I drew the background and everything, but I still wanted to keep it simple, so yeah. I actually recorded the process of it, but then I didn't know what to say, so I never uploaded the video. But yeah, I have the process recorded somewhere. Oh, and actually the orange and the purple that you see, these are from these 2 brushes. I actually bought this so that I could draw inside mainly, so yeah, I've been using them quite a lot. Oops, I'm just realizing now that it wasn't centered but well. Now, okay, so here I tried using gouache because I got this really nice purple colored gouache or lilac colored gouache, and I just wanted to see if it would work inside of this sketchbook. Oh, so this person here is the same as this one. Like, I used the same reference picture. I just tried to draw her again since I didn't like how she turned out before, and I like it better here. I tried experimenting a bit more with the colors. Yeah, I tried applying pattern in the background. I think I really like this page. Like, I could almost turn it into a print. Then the next one, well, I'm not actually a big fan. You can see that the colors are all muddy. I used gouache too. When was it? It was in September 2024, 29th of September. I think it was one of the first few times I used gouache, so yeah. Experimentation. Okay, then these 2, I actually really like them. It's a shame that I don't have a picture of the line work without the color on top, but I think the line work looked really nice. I tried to have a really pretty line work and then adding detail with the colors, and I think this one looks great. I really love how minimalistic the face looks. I didn't have much lines to it. Same for the arms, actually. Okay, now it's becoming a bit more busy. So this first one, I used this brush again for the purple. I remember not liking it much when I drew it, but now I actually like it a lot. So here's just a person with a background, and here there's this person with a cat. This is really painted actually. And in terms of layout, I really like writing text in the background. And if you're wondering about the text that I write in the background, usually it's something that I've been reading at the time or lyrics of songs that I've been listening to. And I think it looks great. So after that, starting from here, I'm pretty sure I was trying to focus on drawing faces in a pretty abraded style, just with lines and without any paint on top. And I love how this one turned out, honestly. This is a spread that I really enjoy doing, so I used the same pen and I drew a bunch of faces. I tried to diversify the type of faces that I was drawing. I think these two are the ones that I like the most. And then for the text that I wrote in the background, I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of lyrics from Alien Stage. It's a very famous serial on YouTube. It's finished now. It's a bunch of lyrics from multiple Alien Stage songs because back when I was drawing it, I was really into the songs. And next, we have the spread that I recorded for this channel. So you're gonna find a video of me drawing this spread on my channel. I really like how it turned out, especially this one. Actually, the face, first of all, I love how I could convey the details of the face without putting down a lot of lines, and especially the dress. I think you can kind of tell the type of fabric that is used with the way I colored it, even though I didn't use a lot of color and I only used this one brush to color it, so I'm really happy with how it turned out. And also the colors, the orange is so bright and I think it goes very well with the purple. Then we have smaller sketches. I like this one. I'm not sure if I can find a reference picture again from Pinterest, but I know that I painted this exact picture with watercolor in the past and I loved how it looked. And this one, well, it's a random person that I found also. Then here I tried experimenting more with colored pencil, although I don't really like how it looks. I love this one though. And here I was trying to draw more outfits. This one looks really nice. Here I drew more outfits. Oh, and I really wanted to try this type of coloring where you have a very big shape and then you just apply color to it without more details of the fold or pattern on it. And I like how it looks. It's basically just a big shape for the whole outfit. And then this one is a bit more painted because here I'm pretty sure I use colored pencil and watercolor, whereas here I only colored it with colored pencils. And the pink of the hair is most likely a highlighter. Yeah, I find it really fun to color with highlighter. I don't have much to say about it except that perhaps I think I was trying to experiment with drawing people without using the pen first. So here I use the pen, and here I think for the eyes I try to draw them with the brush pens that I showed earlier. And for this face especially, I think I drew the first half here with the pen, and then this part I try to draw it with colored pencils. I'm not sure if I like it much, But overall, I'd say I wasn't really inspired for this spread. Now the next one is probably my favorite, just because I drew Colin Whitman from Black Mirror. I remember I drew this after watching Black Mirror Bandersnatch, which is sadly not on Netflix anymore. If you've watched it, you know how cool Colin is. So I basically just looked up a bunch of pictures of him from the Bandersnatch episode, and I just drew him using 2 colors, and I love how he looks. I just really like this character. And then as for the text that I wrote down, it's basically all of the rant he was saying. I looked up a bunch of quotes from him from the Bandersnatch movie, and I just wrote them down. Yeah, I like how it looks. I would love to turn this into a print just to put it on my own wall, because I love Colin. I really love him. So then this one, I actually like it quite a lot. So yeah, it's just a guy with a teddy bear, and then I drew him 2 additional times in the background. And as for the text, I'm pretty sure it's a song from the Cape of Demon Hunter movie, because I drew this after watching the movie. And by the way, I hope you can see the evolution of my layout, like the past few pages, especially these 2. I really love the layout. I think it looks great, whereas before, well, I was experimenting a bit with it, but it wasn't that nice. So yeah, I'm glad I got better at doing the layout of the pages. Now we're almost at the end. This is... ooh. This drawing, I remember when I did it, I didn't like it much at all, actually. And after drawing this, I didn't touch my sketchbook for quite some time, because I was just feeling about seeing the drawing and thinking about how ugly it looks. One of my main issues that I had working on this sketchbook is how I feared that the drawings would end up looking bad. And it sounds really weird, especially knowing that it's a sketchbook that I got for practicing. The issue is that even though, well, my purpose was practicing and I was practicing when I drew this, I ended up having pages that looked really good, and I was aware of it, and I liked that they looked good. For example, these past 2 pages, that looks really nice. And overall, I thought that the drawings inside of the sketchbook were looking great. So it was, in a way, pressuring me to keep this quality of drawing in the upcoming drawing that I would do, which is defeating the purpose of practicing. So yeah, it sounds weird, but having good looking drawing inside of this practice sketchbook ended up stressing me more than if all of my drawings were looking kind of bad, I think. I mean, it's not that much of an issue, but just I had to keep on reminding myself that I was doing this for practice purposes and not to have good looking drawing at the end, even if the drawings could end up looking good. So yeah, I struggled a lot with this page, and at some point I even thought about going over it with something else, since I really didn't like the way the drawing looked, but I decided against it and I just continued. Wait, I don't know if I have the date. I did this in July. This one was also done in July, and I only went back to drawing inside of the sketchbook in late September with this drawing that I also really like. I think this lady looks amazing. Like the reference picture was really nice, and I only used 1 pen and 1 colored pencil to draw this. Her profile looks really great. We're almost at the end, so this one is from early October. By the way, if you were reading the dates, because I wrote down the dates, I tried to write down the date whenever I would draw inside of a sketchbook. You can see that I wasn't drawing inside really regularly, which is not something bad, but just something to note. I wasn't drawing inside every day, like once every few weeks or every few months. So, here I was trying to experiment with pen. Wait, marker. Yeah, I want to try and experiment with marker because I really like the pattern you have when you color something with chip marker. So, yeah. Once again, I really love how it looks when you just have a very big shape with color inside and no detail. Then I did this one that I love a lot. Basically, the way I went on for this one is that, well, I drew a face, and then for the hair, I blocked the shape with the marker, and then I went over it with a pen, and I drew these additional details, and I think it looks really good. I should definitely try doing this more because the result looks good. One other thing that I actually want to say about the sketchbook is how nice it was to allow myself to experiment more. But at the same time, going back through it reminds me of these things because in the moment I'm always thinking that this experiment looked nice and I should do it more. But then I always forget to try it again. Well, it's fine. At least I know. And then this is the last page. So this page is actually pretty different from all the previous ones because here I actually include drawings that I made. So this one is someone that I saw in the train, and I thought their outfit looked really cool, but at the time I didn't have any sketchbook on me, so I just drew them on a random piece of paper that I had, which is this one, and I even wrote down the different pieces of clothing they were wearing so that I could reference it for future drawings. And I always thought that this drawing looked cool, but I never knew what to do with this piece of paper, and I was always afraid of losing it. So yeah, I decided to just put it here. Same for these two. Oh, it's actually this one. I drew it on the same day that as these, but I don't know, this is most likely the first drawing that I did, and then I started drawing in my sketchbook. But since this one I just drew it on a random piece of paper, I didn't know what to do with it, which is why I ended up gluing it here. And this one, well, it's also someone that I saw when I was on the train, and once again I didn't have any sketchbook with me, so I just drew on a random piece of paper, and was basically the same as this one. I didn't know what to do with it. And then these remaining two drawings, they are actually some portrait that I did just for this page. I drew them directly on it, and yeah, I really like how this one looks. I love the colors. This one I'm not a big fan of, but well, it's fine. At least I finished it, and yeah, that's it. There's nothing left. So now, if I had to choose favorite drawing from this sketchbook, I think I'd definitely go for this one. Is one of my favorite for the hair because they look really nice. This one because it's Colin, and I really like Colin. And then this one because I really love her face. So yeah, I think it took me a year to complete it because I started it in May 2024, and the last drawing that I did this is from October 2025. So yeah, I think I finished it in late October. So yeah, a year for this, even though it's actually pretty small. Like, it's only 48 pages. But well, it was really fun. I'm gonna leave it on the Collins page. I'm not used to sharing my sketchbook and commenting the drawings inside, so I'm sure I could have said more, but I don't really know what to say about this. I've just seen them so often that I'm not really sure what's pertinent to say about them or not. But I hope you still enjoyed it. If you have a favorite drawing, let me know. That's it for me today. I hope the video was interesting. And I'll see you in the next one. Oh, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Up until then.